Welcome back to the Core Cars News Tech Lab. We got some breaking news happening. Now, this was announced a couple weeks ago at Roku's big event we were at, but the new Roku update for 14.5 is out with some new features in it. And we're going to break down everything new here, let you know some kind of minor tweaks and different things, and what you should be aware of with this. Now, a lot of this is for Roku TVs, but many of them will be available for Roku sticks, also streaming players and the like. Few quick things. If you want to find a link to this story, I'll put a link to it in the show notes. You can read this stuff for yourself, come up with your own opinion. Love to hear from you. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button or hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. All right, Roku has, for a couple of weeks now, we first broke this a few weeks ago, that Roku 14.5 rolled out. Very little was new in it. But since then, Roku has, let me grab this remote, slowly rolled out major changes, and now that they announced it, they put out a small update, and a lot of those features they announced are now available. This seems to be rolling out. We have it available on several TVs and streaming players, but not all the review models we have received the new 14.5 features. Starting off with an updated daily trivia. Now, this is a fun game Roku put out. It's a very kind of minor change, but let's get the minor one out of the way. This is their daily trivia game where you can play different questions on trivia about Roku sometimes, but mostly about movies, television shows, and the like. Now, you can play the daily, but they've also added the ability now for you to go in here and play a vault of a bunch of older games where you can track it. And which is really nice. If you have some friends over, you're playing a little party game, and you want to play some TV trivia, you can go in here and, answer questions from older ones like this one. So kind of a nice little feature there, but for most people, you may not care. What's nice though is they're using an improved picture setting to automatically, if you opt into it in the settings under picture quality, adjust your TV's picture settings to whatever you're watching. Roku, if you enable this mode, will detect if you're, for example, playing a video game versus watching sports, watching a movie versus maybe a documentary, and it will tweak the settings to meet those new features. That's now available. You do need to go into the Roku settings and in the picture settings to turn it on. When the update comes, there is a little slideshow asking you if you would like to automatically enable that, just so you know. Now with that, Roku says the vast majority of people never touch their picture settings, use the same default regardless of watching movies or watching sports, and that may not produce the best quality image for what you're watching. And they can adjust your TV settings automatically to do that if you'd like, or you can still manually adjust them to whatever preference you would still like. It's completely up to you. They also are rolling out some updates to the iOS apps for Roku and Android apps for Roku. With this, if you have the Roku app enabled, you can favorite different teams. And as part of this new sports zone that they've been not had in the United States for a little bit, but rolling out to more parts of the world now, where you can go through here and say, hey, I'm a big fan of PGA golf, maybe Michigan football, or whatever it may be, and I can go in there and set it up so that on my phone I'm going to get an alert when a game starts. So, oh hey, there's a basketball game I wanted to watch, or a hockey game I wanted to watch. You'll find it there, which is a really nice feature. You will need, though, the iOS and Android app on your phone to watch that. Now, the dedicated sports zone here, which shows you, for example, PGA Cup's happening, some soccer, and all kinds of different sports events happening right now, is live. Now, I'm recording this on a Sunday morning, right after church. So, hey, if you are seeing just a bunch of sports here that you don't care about, it's probably because nothing else is on. There's not football games happening, NBA is not happening right now, and the like. But it's a nice little option here. They also have their free sports channels here for content. You can even go into dedicated zones, like it's the NBA playoffs right now. You can see a bunch of dedicated highlights, and as I said, later today at 5 you have some different games, and it will show you how to watch those games and give you access to that, which is nice. Again, been available in some areas for a while, now rolling out to more. Roku is also rolling out a new coming soon to movies, which I don't see up here yet on this one with this, but with this in this category, you'll be able to see trailers of upcoming movies to theaters coming soon with that. Now, to check to see if you have this update, just go into your settings and then select system, and then here you go into software update, and you can select that, and you see I'm on 14.5.4, But you can always check right here, say check now to see. Roku will automatically update its players. See, I'm fully up to date. In the middle of the night, usually when you're not using them, they'll update. But if you don't want to wait and you want to check, that's where you can do it. The big change here is for Roku televisions with the improved picture quality, where it will automatically detect what you're watching if you enable it and adjust accordingly. Features like this have been available on some Roku TVs, like the Roku TCL 6 series had its video game mode. When it detected a PlayStation or Xbox, for example, connected, it would enable a mode specifically built for video games to reduce latency and offer better performance for games. Others features here now are coming. Roku's had this for a little while, just a dramatic improvement in what they say will be performance of it to more accurately identify what you're watching and offer better picture settings. Especially with their new Pro line series of TVs that have the mini LEDs in them to give you much better blacks, color contrasts, and more throughout it. So overall, 2 thumbs up. Roku's been slowly rolling out features. Now, I will say this. Roku is notorious, and I do mean notorious, for rolling out an update, announcing a few features, and then hiding stuff in there that you just discover. Guest mode was one of these. You know, on your Roku, you can put in the settings your TV into guest mode, which will temporarily basically allow your friends and family to log into all their apps on the TV. Great one if you have an Airbnb. I know a lot of people do that, but also if you have, for example, a TV in your spare bedroom, and you have a guest coming and they want to be able to log into their Netflix and their Hulu or wherever, you just put it in guest mode. It will retain all your logins, but allow them to temporarily log in. And then when you exit guest mode, their logins get wiped out and your login back to Hulu, for example, is retained. That was a feature never really announced when it first came out. You just kind of discovered it. So help me out. Have you noticed anything new like that? Is there something that hasn't been announced that you notice that's new? Do me a favor. You can leave a comment here, but that's not the best way because I can't come back and check every single comment months later. Do me a favor. Go to corecarsnews.com. Click on the Contact Us button and then send us an email. It not only goes to myself, but the entire Core Cars News team can see that, so that we can all maybe look into that. If I'm, for example, unavailable, somebody else will be working and be able to jump on a tip that you may have. Tips from people like you are a huge help for us. It helps us get a lot of great news stories out to people. So keep those tips coming. You're not only helping us, but you may help a bunch of people who didn't know of that feature. But keep an eye open. Like I said, Roku's notorious for hiding things inside updates without a lot of an announcement. Well, that's it for today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Weather's getting beautiful up here in Michigan. Trees are in bloom. Flowers are coming up. So great to see things going from that kind of muddy spring gray brown, if you live in Michigan, you know what I'm talking about, to a more green look. I always love this time of year. Until then, next time, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.